Glorified. Lights still on.
It's on.
You're on. What else is on? The other one on?
It might be. Lighting on. Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity you've given me. Lord, I ask you to take over and help me to say what you have me to say and help me to do what you have me to do this night. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Turn with me to Genesis 8:22. Okay. Oh. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. I take it as most people think that it's about money. It's not. It's what you speak, what you do, everything you do shows something. Everything you listen to shows something. Everything you speak, either you're speaking life, speaking death, doubt. Now, if you're speaking more doubt and more faith, you go nowhere.
Yeah.
And I've seen it this last week. My uncle, he was so bound up in bitterness, I don't know what more to do, just to work, keep help, try and speak life into him, but he refuses. So I'll keep doing it till the Lord tells me to stop.
Right.
But I don't want to see him fall, but sometimes you have to. But if we start to speak more life, more faith, stop being dwelling on what someone else is saying.
Right.
Just dwell on what the Word says. What the Word says is that if you don't, you're not listening to the one you need to listen to.
Right.
Because he's always speaking. A lot of times we're not listening. Turn with me to Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. It's all along the same. If you're those that like to gossip and tell things, you see that a lot on your social medias, and I've seen arguments between people that are supposed to be Christians on social media, and they don't realize how many people see what they were arguing over.
Right.
And they're showing stuff they don't even realize they're showing. So, out there, something I used to tell my nieces and nephews, and I call them nieces and nephews even though they're cousins, because they were so much younger than me. I didn't feel right calling them a cousin, so I call them a niece. I told them, always think before you speak, because you can't take it back. And nowadays, you gotta watch before you type. When you type it out and send it out on your phone or whatever, because more than just you and whoever you're sending it to sometimes sees what you're saying. So, if you're a Christian, you always have to think twice. Or like I do. I might take a few hours to answer somebody if someone sends something. It's because I'm seeking the Lord. I don't want to say something to them before, if I'm trying to figure out what they're trying to say, or I'll ask the Lord before I even answer it.
Right.
Because if you answer something and you're not sure yourself, all you're sowing is conflict. Me, I never did like to argue. I never liked to fight. I found it was easier to walk away than to fight. Because I never did like hurting people. Never have. So I'd say early 2000s, I was always wanting to help my family no matter where I had to go. I ended up going to Texas for 4 or 5 months. I didn't know, all I knew was family needed help, and I went. And even now, I love my brothers, I love my sisters. That's just what I feel the Lord placed me as a brother, what I'm supposed to do. So I stand on the idea, you have to be family even when they're mean, even when they're hateful. Because what actions you're doing, you're sowing into it, whether they realize it or not. If you're getting ornery, that's sowing the seed. If you're just being quiet and doing what you got to do to try and keep the peace, or if they need help, help them, that's sowing the seed too. Turn with me to James 3. And 5. Even so, the tongue is a little member, boasts of great things. Oh, how great a matter a little fire kindled. A lot of times our mouth gets us in more trouble than anything else. I know on my own I can't. Because when I get mad, sometimes if I'm really mad, I don't always think what I'm saying, or I don't get that mad very often. But when I do, I don't always think about what I'm saying when I'm saying it. So I tried to learn to be mad without trying to get too mad. It's hard to do, but with the Lord's help, you can. The Galatians 6, 7 and 8. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. That's, like I said, it's every action you do, every word you speak, everything you hear, everything you watch. It's either sowing spiritual life or death. There's no in between. And there's a lot of things people, I've seen Christians do lottery and everything else. As Christians, we shouldn't be doing so. It's sowing to your flesh. And God don't want you to do things like that. All it's going to do is end up hurting you in the long run. Because I always figure gambling's gambling. It don't matter if it's a dollar or what. God don't want us doing stuff like that. So I never was one to do it. I'll read in Matthew 12, 36 to 37. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by the words thou shalt be justified, and by the words thou shalt be condemned. In other words, everything you say, God already knows, going to take account. And if you ain't speaking right, you're going to have to answer for it. You're sowing seeds and you're growing a crop. But I don't want to be sowing the seed of doubt. And then when the time comes where you need faith, you don't have the faith to stand on the promise God's already made. Does that doubt creep in, just like bitterness, hate, fear? All those things are a lot of the times start with a little whisper. Start with the saying, I don't know. That's one word I don't know if you can or cannot. I always told my nephews never use them. They're a bad word. Because there's never cannot. It's up to you whether you want to or not.
Right.
And me working with them, not even worried. At one time he was doing good. I don't know what he's doing now. I ain't seen him in a while. I know he has to remember that much. I told him, never say cannot. It's a bad word. I know they say it's okay to say, but never say you cannot do something. Now, as a Christian, that's not part of your vocabulary. There's never cannot. I've seen too much to say that cannot is possible. Cannot's not possible unless you let it be. Always speak faith.
Right.
Nothing else what God tells you. Because if He's telling you something and it's to help your faith, it's also to confirm something He's already told you. Or someone else has told you. I know when my stepdad passed that night, he told me, don't worry about it, I took care of it. So from that point on, I never worried about anything. So you just got to take Him at His word. A lot of the time, even when you don't see what up on the next mountain what's coming, a lot of times you don't need to know what's coming. Because if you know what's coming, then you're already trying to plan for it. I learned not to plan for anything. Because sometimes best laid plans, they fall apart. So I learned to let the Lord set up where I'm supposed to go, and if I'm supposed to go wherever He wants, wherever. A lot of times He confirms I'm going. I always wait for the third time that He confirms it. Then I know. Because if you're planning to go somewhere and He ain't said go, a lot of times it'll either fall apart. Or I've seen people thinking they was called to go pastor in church. They was never called to pastor yet. They didn't make the money. They was back home. So it's better to seek the Lord, read His word, speak faith, Don't speak out. Don't argue. If you just speak life. Because life's going to get you more help than it will anything else. If they don't like it, the worst they can do is walk away. Turn with me to Romans 8, 1. There's therefore now no condemnation for them which are in Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit, for the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus hath made you free from the law of sin and death. He also freed you from your own tongue if you're ready. Your own words, your own. When you yield to Him and let Him give you the words to speak, He said He would. You just got to let Him speak. Then a lot of times you're going to keep yourself out of trouble. And it's hard for young people to understand it. It was hard for me to understand it when I was young, because if someone, I never really thought, but I was smart off. But over the years, getting around Christian folk, getting saved, being in church, that God taught me. And if He ain't going to teach you, because I learned by watching the people around me, how they was acting. I saw it work, and I remember a friend of mine, he told me one thing. Most people don't realize that they prophesy their own failures. You always prophesy what you get. What you get is what you're talking about. Well, he also told me to put little scriptures in your room, on the doorposts, where you can see them put and help you put them in your spirit. I remember the first scripture I memorized, I still know it now. It's 2 Corinthians 5:7, for we walk by faith, not by sight. Once you get all of that, it opens up a whole different thing. Because then once you start just walking by faith, don't believe everything you're hearing, don't believe everything you're seeing. Just walk by that. Then problems might come up, there's always going to be problems. But are you going to be speaking faith to it? Are you going to say what the problem is? I know my favorite thing, even if it's a bad day, it's still a good day. No matter, I'll never give it the satisfaction of saying it's a bad day. Even when I'm hurt, it's still a good day. So, if anyone needs prayer, come on up. And everything